Hey everyone, before we get started with this amazing episode with Daniella Park, I just wanted to let you know that I had some technical difficulties with my audio during the recording. Daniella's audio was not affected, and the conversation was far too meaningful not to share. Wine with Weeda is all about sharing real stories and showing up with vulnerability. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hello, and welcome to Wine with Weeda, the podcast that is dedicated to engaging with health professionals and caregivers in meaningful discussions. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, or as my clients call me, Weeda. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist, and I am so excited to have you here. Each week, we deep dive into connecting you with caregivers and healthcare professionals, sharing their insights, stories, and key takeaways to help you with your child's diagnosis and your journey. Whether you are a parent, healthcare professional, a lifetime learner, or simply a wine enthusiast, you're in the right place. So let's sit back and relax and enjoy today's episode. Welcome to another episode of Wine with Rita. I'm your host, Rita Shamoon, and today we're swapping the glass of wine for delicious cakes because I am so excited to have Daniella Park with us. Daniella is the founder and head cake designer of Buttercream Lane, known for her stunning custom creations. Despite leaving school at 16 due to dyslexia, a learning difficulty that makes reading and writing challenging, she taught herself baking through YouTube tutorials. That's interesting. And built a thriving business delivering thousands of celebrations through cakes. She's now living overseas, a gorgeous mother, and continues to create amazing work. Daniela, you can hear it to the tone of my voice. I am so excited to have you on Wine with Rita today.
Thank you, Rita. Me too. What an introduction. I'm so humble. Thank you.
Well, you deserve that because, as I said previously before we started to recorded the show, I followed you many years ago, and I was just so drawn to your energy and drawn to your creation through your platform of how even you decorate the case online, but even through Channel 10 when you would go on those tea morning shows. And I thought, what a gorgeous woman. And I didn't even know you had a learning difficulty.
Oh, thank you. No, I forget that it feels like a whole nother life. It's crazy what you can fit in a lifetime when you say yes to everything.
Well, let's see if we can put it all on this episode today.
Thanks.
So, Daniela, I'm sure there are many people that haven't followed you. Can you tell them a little about yourself and how your love of baking began?
Oh, sure. Well, my name's Daniella Park. I'm Australian, living in America for the last 5 years. Uh, I grew up in a traditional Catholic Lebanese family in the suburbs, and little did I know I wasn't like everyone else. But I kind of liked that as a kid. It gave me, I don't know, confidence, or it made me more emotionally intelligent. I didn't know that at the time, but it did. And resilient and kind, and it was all because I couldn't read and write. I'm severely dyslexic to the point where today I still hold an assistant that helps me with filling out forms. That's just my life. I need help. I need help ordering things and double checking things. Otherwise, we get some great stuff delivered to my house that was wrongly ordered, or to the wrong address, or I've attended events at the wrong address and things like that. Like, that's just a part of my life. It doesn't scare me anymore. It just is what it is. And I've tried every therapy I could. I still enjoy reading. Actually, I was just reading some things now. I might not always get it right, but I'll give it a go. And the thing is, I dropped out of school at 16. It was just too hard for me. I was a square peg trying to fit in a circle, and it just was ripping my confidence to shreds. And I know you believe in this philosophy too, Rita, because we touched on it a little before. I'm constantly sharing with parents, please spend 80% of the time building your children's confidence in things they enjoy, and only 20% of the time fixing the problem. Like, I just didn't want to walk away from school thinking I had a problem. Yes, it's an issue. Yes, it's a challenge. Yes, it, is very difficult at times, but at the same time, it gave me a drive 10 times more than anyone else that was my peers. It gave me bravery to start my own business because I thought if I started my own business, I could control my environment. If I can control my environment, I can thrive. Like, I know I have the smarts, I can do something. And all I wanted to do was make people smile. It's literally the first thing I wrote down as a 16-year-old when my parents said, well, you have to have a business plan. You're not leaving school and doing nothing. What's your plan? And I just wrote down, I want a business to make people smile. So I started Parcels of Love. That was corporate gifts for helping men buy gifts for women. And my first client was Malaysian Airlines. So I knew I was doing something right. And then I went into Buttercream Lane for baking because who does not love to receive cake? I'm telling you, cake and cupcakes are the best currency you'll ever have because anyone's day can be turned around. And especially because you bake it, like people just are blown away by that. It doesn't even have to be good. I wasn't good when I started. That's just not true. Like I think I like it takes a while to get there and it was just something I promised myself not to give up on. So I got good. So that's how that happened, I guess.
Daniela, my heart is just full right now because as a speech pathologist, there are many children with communication disorders, disabilities. And what you said there is 80% of your time, find what brings your child joy.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find joy in what we do, you build that connection. And in speech pathology, when you build that connection, you build communication.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so heartbreaking that many families focus on that 20%. But I love how you emphasize when you just focus on the 80, that will bring not only for yourself as a parent, but to your child purpose,
Mm-hmm.
joy, and a mission for them to not be defined by their disability, but more their ability, which I am all here for on Wine with Weta, advocating and reducing stigma. And your story is delivering that to a T. Daniela,
Oh.
thank you.
Thank you. No, I love that you bring up purpose too. I think when I
Mm,
when I say joy, I promise you, if you are giving a child, let alone yourself, by the way, purpose, joy is overflowing.
yeah.
Like I didn't look for my own happiness. That's a different thing. But if you could find your purpose, I am telling you, joy will flow in and just flood your life, flood your home, and the temperature changes and everything changes. So if you can change that little person's outlook and they feel they're good at something, I promise you they'll actually be more receptive to that 20% of therapies you're introducing or tasks or because that's still important too. If you can improve their world even 2%, 3%, that makes a big difference for sure.
Yeah, yeah. You really raised the point about purpose. It's not only about the child, though, Daniela. It's about the caregiver, the parent. And that's the concept of osmosis. As a mum, as we're mums, our energy, right? When you're happy, the family's happy. So do things that build your happiness. And it's beautiful. Now let's talk about dyslexia. When were you diagnosed?
So I wasn't discovered till I was just about to start high school. It was my grade six teacher, Miss Ruler. I wasn't I was left late because I wasn't misbehaving. I was very
Mm,
articulate, I was very engaging. I could talk my way out of homework really well. So no one really noticed until Miss Ruler kind of said she can't read and write. Like she can talk her way into and out of assignments and things like that, but I want to get her tested. And I'll never forget, she had a doctor, I won't say his name. He came and did a 3-day test with me.
oh,
And I'll never
nice.
forget being like 11 and just about to start high school. And he said, I was listening in the library, wasn't meant to be there. My parents were having the meeting, but I am cheeky. Like, oh, I find out things, but I was there. And he said, she's intellectually retarded. Like,
Mm,
she definitely can memorize everything. Everything she told me was just made up and, whatever he came up with, which was fantastic. And I remember my parents crying. I didn't even cry. I was like, this guy's a retard. I know that sounds bad that I'm saying that. I was 11. I'm allowed to say that. I know PC culture now doesn't allow it. I was 11 years old, so I was allowed to say it. That's how I felt mad at the time. I wouldn't say it now, but I just remember saying, no, he's whatever, and I'm fine. I'm smart. My brain works. I don't understand this world. What? Because I can't do what everyone else can do. I'll show you what I can do. And I was just really confident like that. I liked being different. I liked having the challenge. Doesn't mean I was good at it. Doesn't mean I didn't come across failure constantly. Doesn't mean I wasn't crying all the time and freaking out. And, I had my days and it wasn't easy, but there was just this core in me to fight. And I think that's, just how I found out, the time I found out, and then off I go to a private girls' school, which wasn't suited to my needs. It just wasn't. It didn't have the support I needed. It didn't have the access to help. And then I begged my parents to let me go to Holy Spirit College in Lakemba purely because my cousins were there. And I thought, you're stronger in numbers and I'd be looked after. And I was.
Mm.
But the school had support because English is a second language in that area. It was in Lakemba. So English is a second language. They just had more support in education with reading and writing aids and things like that. So that really helped me stay in school as long as I did.
I'm just going to say for any parent listening questioning if their child has dyslexia. So the assessment process is quite complex. And I think Daniela raised a great point that she wasn't diagnosed till class school. And the thing with children with dyslexia, their receptive language, which is the ability to understand, and their verbal expressive language are strong. And because they're able to understand, there's this somewhat they know how to mask it, their challenges, and find their way up until the demands on their written expression and their reading comprehension starts to what's the word, dwindle a little bit or break down a little bit. But because their listening comprehension and their verbal capacity is so strong, it is quite confusing to think, well, this child's great and phenomenal in one area, but it just doesn't match up. And Daniela, you just painted what most kids do. They hide, they rebel, and they think, no, no, I'm good, I've got this. Like they know how to manage it, but it's until that breaking point, which normally happens in the higher years or higher grades, isn't okay, I'm really struggling with this. We need, as Angie highlighted, the support and finding what makes the child drive.
Absolutely. And it's that like moment where everyone around you is, reading novels in class, where my teacher had to record it on cassette tape because, I'm a little older than
Yeah.
than most
Not
people.
even
But,
an iPod. iPods, is that what you call it?
yeah,
iPods? Do you remember iPods?
I know. Didn't have iPods back in my day. That came after high school. But, they recorded it on cassette tape for me so I could listen to it. And it's not till then that you realize, like, how do they do that? Like, how do they read? Like, even to this day, my husband and I, we have these couple prayer books and praying wife and praying husband and stuff.
Yeah.
And we read it together when we do Bible study. And sometimes he'll be like, hang on, can I see that? And he'll look at the page and he's like, that's not what it says. And I said, I swear I wasn't making it up for my own purpose. I just thought that's what it says. And he's constantly like, yeah. Or like, I'll memorize things so I can. I'm really good at pretending I can read and write. Not writing so much because that's a bit obvious, but I can memorize like typing on a pad. So I
Yeah.
can memorize words like a piano. So if I know the pattern, I can get away with it. But when it comes to reading, he'll notice, like, say, because this came up today because we were reading in the Bible. I can't say people's names. I don't know. Like, there's so many names and they're hard names. So I'm like, and that person did da 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 da. And he's like, Daniela. And I'm like, well, and so, I'm pretty sure that's the brother of da 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 and Jacob and da da da. And he's like, yeah, you can't, like, just tell me if you don't know. But I'm so fast at just, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
read.
You've learned that your whole life. You don't know when you get that. But you, what did I want to say? You've, oh, I had something really useful to say just then. But it's like you've learned behaviors on how to navigate it and manage it to then not necessarily avoid, but more like, well, this is who I am. This I can't control it. This is how I'm going to thrive and make do.
Yeah, and that was after reader, like that was after doing colored glasses and doing intense reading therapy. And still to this day, if I don't practice reading every day, I will fall behind. As in, I used to read the newspaper every day back in high school just so I can familiarize myself with words. And the other week we had house guests for a while, so I hadn't pulled out my books to read because it wasn't a moment, and already it was difficult to spell my name again. And already it was difficult to reckon, and it really like frustrated me. I was like, oh, and then it's like, okay, back. Like you got to look at words. You got to look at words. So I just found what works for me, and not a lot does, but I'm okay with that. At the same time, as cool as it is, and as much as I get through it, I also don't want to paint the picture that I would like people to have dyslexia. I don't. If you can find a cure, do that. Like, definitely your world will be easier. And because you had it in the first place, you're going to use all those resilient bravery, creativity, different ways of thinking, plus the power of reading and writing. You will wipe everyone with the floor. Like, now I have voice to text. Now I have so much more aid to help me. So, you know, um, I'm studying psychology. So I never thought in my lifetime I would be able to do that, but I really want to do something with cooking and kitchen therapy. So I'm studying psychology, and it is hard, but gosh, I have so much more help now in this day and age than I did back then.
It shows the power of inclusion and awareness. Like we're talking over 15, 20 years ago, where the cassette, for example, we had no voice to text, we had no WhatsApp. We had to make do with the skills, but it just shows the growing demand of individuals in order for them to thrive. We have to assimilate to what allows them to flourish. And I love that because with our young kids with learning difficulties, there's a world of endless opportunities for them and never hold them back. Never hold them back. Daniela, how did you discover baking and your love for it? Was it with mum in the kitchen?
Yeah, I do. I think even grandma, her sisters, my mom, aunts, my dad bakes, and it was always hopping up on the chair and joining in. I was always included. Even my son now, Thomas, he from a very young age would hop up. He can use the stove, he can use a knife. He's 19 months at the moment, but he is in the kitchen doing what I do. He thinks he can do it better. I'll tell you that much. Got spirit, that boy. Yeah, he's got spirit. So I do think it was that. And then it was just seeing people's reactions. It was a way, I'm going to say this incorrectly, but it was a way to get attention and connection that I couldn't get from my like academic side.
I get that. Yeah, so get that. It built the connection which allowed you to get the attention that you needed. And it's interesting because many parents think when a child is misbehaving that they're just attention seeking. They're really connection seeking.
100%. Just yesterday night, I won't say which niece or nephew, but one of them was calling late in the evening here, which was their daytime, and they were giving everyone hell. It's school holidays. I knew
Mm.
they were playing up. I won't say she or he to dub them in. And as soon as I heard that, I rang and I was like, hey, do you want to bake a cake in a mug? Because I was like, what can I do with them online that is safe for them, number one, and they could do without disturbing the whole household? And I was like, let's try and bake a cake in a mug. I've been testing this recipe. I really want to see if it works. Could you help me? Off they went, popped on their apron. We talked about while you're waiting for it to cool, let's pack all the ingredients. And suddenly, the little one that was using a baby voice to get attention, that was absolutely murdering the house with their voice to be heard, softly, gently, concentrated, turned, offered everyone cake, with like complete wraparound. And I want to say this doesn't highlight how amazing I am as a mum. This highlights how amazing and necessary a village is. Because I guarantee you, my village does that for my baby when I'm busy. I'm the person's mum has a lot on their plate going on, more than multiple kids going through multiple things at different age groups. So I just want to highlight you need to show up for your community. Stop separating. It's the worst thing that's happening in society today. I can't speak more about it than, and especially being in America, can I say?
Mm.
Americans pull things from the picket white fence to family, neighborhood to what they are now. If they could come together and just help each other as families, as neighbors, I'm so blessed. That's why we moved to Texas. Um, it's just got that family vibe.
And I'm interested. Did you see your younger self in your niece in that moment, using those behavior changes to get the attention?
Yeah, 100%. I was definitely cheeky. As in, I know they said I didn't have behavioral issues or anything, but I could definitely get attention. Like, and it was just not acting up, but being loud, annoying my sister. Oh my lord! To this day, I remember putting sticky tape down my sister's room just to tell her what side she can walk on, what not. Like I would go to all extremes, and my sister was so studious; she could read and write. So obviously, when she's sitting peacefully in her bed reading her novel at 12, I'm going to come in and make her live, and I would jump on her bed, do dances, run in, out, like, and I was the oldest, so she's still to
You
this
were the
day.
eldest.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I
You're
was the
describing
oldest.
behaviors of a second child. That's what a second child would do.
100%. My sister
Yeah.
assumed the eldest role, and I definitely assumed the middle role. And yeah, we definitely swapped in that regard.
Now let's talk about the journey that led you to being one of Australia's baking queens. Well, to have that title, firstly, is so, I would feel so empowered, and what an honour to have. And I'm proud of you for that. Let's talk about that, which led you to that title.
Thanks. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm the best cake decorator in the world. I think it's because I loved the people eating the cake so much. That comes back to purpose. I honestly believe that's why I got the attention I got. To this day, the most, and this is why I'm studying psychology and I'm doing a next chapter with my business. But I remember my favorite moments about Buttercream Lane was when my clients became family, because you guys were with me from the time you turn 21, let's say, and then get engaged. And then, so I'm there for all these milestones and then having kids and then the kids' birthdays and christenings and things like that. So I really felt like that, being so connected to that and being so
Mm.
invested. So if I heard someone cancelled a cake where a normal business person, rightfully so, would be like, well, 50%, you owe this, you da 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 da. My first thought was ring them and see if they're okay. Hey, are you okay? Who's sick? Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Did you cancel everything? Okay. I have an assistant. Is there a list of vendors you need called? Why don't you let us do it? I probably know some. Like, and that was always, no matter how busy, I was like trying as much as I can to do that, because I do think that's what made it, or what it became. It was just
That's
that
a
I
great, that's
really
really
love the
well.
people that ate it and why. Like, why were
Mm.
you wanting a cake? That cake is so important. But I don't think I was the best. I have so many cake decorators that I admired, and their cakes were beautiful, and I recommend them constantly. But I do think it was a bit because people wanted to know you. They wanted that story. They wanted to know that their kid would be okay as well. I think a lot of people came to me because the kid was struggling, and if they could see me thrive and be okay, then they had hope for their kid, and that really still gets me to this day. And I still know some of those kids that are now adults, which is pretty cool.
But Daniela, it's not even about the cake, right? And when we're looking at branding, and it's not about the product you make, it's you and what you bring with the cake. It's not just your beautiful smile, it's the empathy, it's the joy, it's the connection that is beyond. the cake. And what all people to recognize when it comes to purchasing something from a business, you're not just purchasing the cake, you're purchasing the love, the joy, and the story that comes with the cake. And it's about celebrating people like yourself, Daniela. People don't know your story, but now it's about I want to now make sure I buy a cake from you again and again because your story is so powerful. And that makes me as a human, builds my empathy, makes me feel great too.
Yeah, that's about connection. That I think people like you think you need food and air. If you can connect with people, I swear God made us to connect. God put power through all of us, and we all help each other and love each other. And if you can just think good of others, even if when you want to think bad, like that helps a lot. And I'm saying all this good stuff. I became this, and still to this day get better at this because I do wrong things, because
Yeah.
I'm aware of when I sin or when I do something bad, and I don't beat myself up about it. I'm like, oh, how can I make this better? Or like, why did I think that? Or how can I, forgive myself for things like people, us as humans hold so much stuff. I did so many things wrong. I wish I had lived a perfect life. I didn't. Like, I hope people know that this sweetness and understanding and love for humans is because I know what real hurt feels like. I
Mhm.
know what real damage feels like. And whether it was done to me from others or me doing it to myself, I am telling you, this goodness and this happiness and this joy and purpose comes from getting it all wrong and being brave enough to dust my shoulders off and going, okay, so how can I get this right now? Or how can I just do better? I'm never going to get it perfect. How can I do a little better tomorrow?
Oh, Danielle, that's so beautiful. And I feel like it's a message for anyone listening. We're not perfect. It's about recognizing our downfalls and how can we make that situation better the next time we encounter that. And it's for all humans, even children listening. You're going to make a mistake. We're going to sin, we're going to all make mistakes. However, it's how you can make a better decision the next time you
Yeah,
encounter.
stop looking for life to be perfect. I don't believe in that. I think life's a fun surfing lesson. Just ride the waves and see how you go. Sometimes you'll fall, sometimes you'll catch a beauty. I don't know.
Daniela, can you share a moment, a proud moment of yours where you thought, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me? I've been through so much. How many years ago a man said I'm intellectually retarded, as you said,
Yeah.
to now like I want to call him and say, look at me. Does a retard do this? Like what moment was that for you?
Giving birth to my son. And nothing
Oh,
will trump that. No, I haven't shared Rita with anyone. I had HG, so I nearly died. Um,
okay.
plus a blood clot. I had so many complications with Thomas, and we were living in New York and downtown New York at the time. It was crazy. And I'll never forget the doctor saying to me, do you have family in America? And we said, yes, there's family in Arizona. And she says, I think you need to go there because if anything happens to you, your husband's going to be alone with a newborn or without you and a newborn. And it got very serious very quickly. My uncle flew from LA to New York, picked me up, flew me to Arizona into my mother in law's arms. And I spent the last trimester there and having my baby in Arizona. And knowing there was a chance I would either not meet my baby, not make it, and things like that, completely submitted to what God had planned for me and was at peace, but was still willing to do anything I could to get through and make sure my husband was okay and things like that. And I'll never forget having the worst pregnancy ever. I was on IVs every 3 days. I couldn't eat food, couldn't drink water. So I lost a lot of weight in my pregnancy. I was very sick, but the baby was always okay. The only time the baby ever played up or stopped moving was the time I'd go to hospital and work out that I had something wrong with me. I had a blood clot, and my baby knew. He saved my life a couple of times. And then when I gave birth, I had the best time. Like, I was relaxed, I was present, I was prayerful, and the pain came and went, and in 26 minutes and 4 pushes, I had a beautiful baby boy, which I know not many birth stories go that way. So I felt like that was such a blessing and reward. And I never thought I'd become a mum. I really thought I didn't want to have kids. It was very nurturing, but not maternal. Like I thought, no. But I think I just hadn't met the right man to be a father. And when I saw what a great father my husband Tommy would be, I was like, yeah, we need to have babies. Now I wish I had like 20. Um, but that moment was definitely it trumped being on TV, having successful business, like all this stuff. Nothing beats that for me.
Daniela, thank you for sharing that here online with me. And how beautiful. What a beautiful message of surrendering. Surrender, be connected to faith, and be believing in yourself as a woman with what your body can do to support your child, and also having faith within the medical system as well. But what a gorgeous story of letting go of the control and surrendering to just letting it be and to our Lord as well.
You're so right, Rita. Like holding that control of wanting things to be what they weren't was what was causing me pain. Like it didn't stop my vomiting. It didn't stop like all the crazy medical stuff that happened. But wanting it to be what it was not was like living hell on earth. And then I honestly found peace knowing that I was okay with whatever was going to be my story was going to be my story. And now to be able to be at home. So I haven't worked very much. I still have clients here. Not I don't make cakes for actually only make cakes for very private people that I know, like Hugh Jackman and his family. Like Christmas Eve, I was with
Well,
them.
that's just with random people that
No,
you
but
know.
like,
You just
yeah,
name drop
yeah.
someone big.
No, but like I know their family.
Okay.
Deborra-Lee, I represent her charities in Australia and in America. So like I know them and I'll do that. I've made my girlfriends on New York Housewives, Jessel, I've made cakes for them, but I will only do it if it's for a good cause or a good
Yeah.
friend that like she called me and was having drama with the girls on the show and she's like, any chance you can help me out and make me a cake? I'm saying sorry to someone. Like I'll do that. Or I'll make it for a neighbor or my beautiful cleaner or like I'll do that. But I no longer do it for a business. I help other businesses with recipe development and things like that. And then I'm concentrating on Life Bites, which is my next business, which is kitchen therapy. So, designing little courses with my um, counseling side of things and with my baking side of things and joining it together, which is just helping people self soothe, helping people, just find a slice of peace in their day and doing it around baking. Because I don't know, with your therapy, I'm sure you know this
Yeah.
firsthand. When people are doing things, they talk and open up much easier
Yeah.
and so much more honestly because they get distracted in what they're doing. One, they relax their mind. So they're suddenly so focused on a task that this worry and anxiety and things that were like really gripping them suddenly melts away and they're
Mhm.
concentrating on getting this right. And then the conversation starts and things can be healed and talked about. And even if you just say it out loud, you stop giving it so much power, things like that. So, like, I'm excited about that.
Love you've said that because kids, they learn through three different modalities: auditorily, visually, and kinesthetic. Hence, not many children learn through listening. Kids with learning difficulties need other learning styles through hands on and visual. And the minute the child gets involved in the activity, it reduces the pressure on their ability to perform, and they're just being who they're made to be. And honestly, hand on heart, Daniela, and for anyone listening, we need to take that expectation of kids to learn that you think is right, but be involved in the moment and watch their language thrive. And I love, absolutely love that you're doing this cake or cooking therapy because kids, and I can resonate with my own children, they love getting in, and the amount of adjective building and complex sentences and back and forth conversation skills a child can develop by simply helping you out in the kitchen. Trust me, it is the most enriching, process to help a child's pragmatic skills, which are their social skills, and also their language. But most importantly, Daniela, the connection that child feels in that moment leaves an imprint on their heart and they will never forget it. At
100%. That's the five sense rule I have. Like you said,
yeah.
how they learn and things, it's five senses. If you ignite all five senses, so baking does that and cooking does that because they're smelling, they're tasting, they're seeing, they're touching, and they're talking. So if your brain is fired up on all cylinders, that memory is imprinted. And then when you have someone beside you, because usually when you're cooking, it's beside you, it's not directed at you, screaming at you, telling you instructions, what to do. You guys are working as a family. You are setting a
Mm.
different temperature. And sometimes, yes, there will be chaos, and sometimes it'll be fun, and sometimes there will be mess. The amount of times I've cleaned up a mess after Thomas, and everyone will look and say, oh my gosh, he spilt flour or water. Yeah, but now, like, yeah, we started at 6 months doing that, but
Mm.
now he can pour his own cereal and milk, or now he has a little cupboard and a little fridge, and he goes and gets stuff, and can get his own snack and walks out with an apple, like, hey, mum, and walks away. And
Independence Day. Look at you're building an adult too, right? And this is what I say to parents. Remember, you are shaping the adult. Yes, it's 19 months. Yes, we want a helicopter. Yes, we want a hover. But you are also forming an adult who's going to have difficulties. Remember that. Great
yeah,
to nurture, great to care, but let's just step back a little because
yeah,
they need to learn from their own mishaps.
100%, except when he's trying to jump off a couch.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, okay. Sorry, let
then
me just say that.
the
Safety
leb
first.
mum comes out in me, and I'm screaming very
The
bad
Middle Eastern
leb
mother.
Arabic words. Yeah. It has a lot of imic going on when he does stuff like
Can I
just
just say, I
say
said that to my daughter the other day, and she said, "You just swore at me." I said, "No, actually, I swore at
like
myself."
myself. Yeah,
So
that's what
I'm
I tell
good.
my
I'm
in-laws.
good.
Yeah, because the Americans are always asking, my in-laws always like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I'm just telling myself I should have done better. I'm like, what am I going to say? Like, yep,
We
that's
don't
what
say
it
that in
means.
English, Daniela. We just keep it to ourselves. But I so get it. It's the
There's no
aggression and
translation.
the emphasis that you have on the K at the end of it too. It's the best. For
Yeah.
anyone listening, I hope you had a good chuckle. A young teen that is experiencing similar difficulties and they're hearing the expectations that they have to do and they're really struggling with dyslexia, what would you tell them?
Deep breath. This is a chapter and a season. It's not your forever, and that's what I wish someone had told me. Because when you're young, you think that moment is forever.
Mm.
It's just not forever. Nothing is forever. It's all a season. So ask for help. And if you're not sure what help you need, start just trying things. Be brave enough to try one thing. And I know a lot of the time you might need to do that quietly, and that's okay. But find someone you trust, someone who really cares about you, and someone who you can say things to. And even if you get it wrong, they'll listen. And the adult listening to me right now, be that person. Be that person for that young kid, because I can tell this young kid everything they need to know. But if you're not there to be a partner with them in this, and you're not there to let them scrape their knee, fall down, they're not going to get better. You cannot save them. They will need to do this on their own. So big, brave boots on. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you, as good as I am at that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So, yeah, big, brave boots on and find that person. And I hope someone's hearing this to be that person. Reach out and don't give up on a kid as well. So it's more to the adult, really. Don't give up on a kid. Parents try, or family friends or teachers, and they're like, oh, third time, I can't be bothered, or this or that, or they're not listening. You just have to keep showing up for that kid. I don't care if it takes 10 years. I've had people I've had to just keep going at for like multiple years. I'll tell you what, it was worth it. And
Mm.
some people a week, and some people one chat. but some people need different things. Don't give up on it. Another human being, just don't do it, and then
Mm.
you'll see they'll change. And if they don't, then start finding people that can help them, because that's what they need. But yeah, big brave boots. Don't be so scared. It's not forever.
This episode has been so powerful. We've really shown this light on resilience, adversity, following your child's interests. Do not define your child's disability or difficulties. But do not define them by that, but more find their ability.
Hmm.
And we really reinforce that today. We promise that when you find your child's ability through their joy,
Hmm.
they might be making cakes for Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
You just, and this is the thing that I've also learned through Wine with Weta, it was an idea. It sparked through my joy of fine dining, sharing a glass of wine or even water. I love food. And when we're just really enjoying the food, I think it's not down to being Lebanese, right? And having that hospitality, we are vulnerable. We create connection. We create that communication, and it lights me up. And look what it's become. It's become a whole new platform. So, parents, I hope the message you get from this episode is surrender your own difficulties and let your child be and follow their joy and see the journey that it will become. And that's the beauty of parenting too, isn't it, Daniel?
Oh, absolutely. It's my favorite thing to do in the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
thank you so
Daniela,
much.
pleasure. But before we finish up, I ask all my guests this question. I haven't said it to you. Did you hear it on an episode? No.
No, no,
Uh,
no, I didn't.
if you were to be a better version of yourself tomorrow, Daniela, what word will you apply to yourself today?
Grace.
Do you want to elaborate?
Uh, I think grace goes a long way, and it's a two-way road, as in grace for yourself and grace for others. So today I was practicing, when you cross the road and someone like comes in, and when they shouldn't, you have right away. It's so easy to turn to that person and be like, what the? And
Mm.
you're mad, and then they're pissed, and then it's a great interaction that you start your day with. Not that I do that often, but I know with a pram, like I'm constantly these little things, like someone pushes in a line or something like that. And today I woke up and I said, how about if I just practice smiling at that person and giving them grace, because I'm not perfect. So maybe they're having an imperfect moment. How about if I just smiled and say, it's okay? No, 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 it's okay. And just move on. Or, sure, go ahead. No, 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 you go. Like, what difference can I make? And I think grace, I need more grace. Like, I'm kind and nice and I try my best and everything, but I'm still human. I'm still flawed like that. So, like, I think grace, if I can give everyone I meet a little more grace, even a little more, and then if I can reward myself with that as well and be okay that, you know, today I let my kid watch Boss Baby 3 times. Like,
Yeah.
we're just going to go with that today and be okay with, yeah, he has a lot of play dates, he does a lot of activities, but today just was not my day. So give myself grace and not go to bed beating myself up that my kid's going to be addicted to TV.
Yeah, yeah. The rules of social media and stuff. Yeah. I love how you said that. I'm not perfect, but that they might not be having an imperfect moment too. So I love that. I love that. Beautiful. Daniela, you've really touched base on many exciting projects that you're doing as well. Where can people find that? On your social media account or on your website?
So I'm got Buttercream Lane. Uh, that's my social media account. I think that's where we'll make the official announcement. This is the unofficial announcement that you get exclusive of. I've been shy on social media for a while now, but it is ramping up. That's why I said yes to you.
Yeah.
And we're going to get ready to launch next year, which I'm very excited about. Maybe a few little fun stuff sooner, but yeah, I'm very excited about that. So follow us on social media at Buttercream Lane, and you'll find out more there.
Well, for everyone listening, we're in October now. and I anticipate to launch this episode around my 40th birthday, which is in December. And I'll have a cake. Might not be Daniella's cake, but
Yeah.
maybe my daughter might make me a cake because we know when someone makes you a cake, it brings you
Oh,
connection. So my cake to Wine with Weta on my 40th birthday is to share Daniella's story and
no.
share her message to many families going through the difficulties with their children. And hopefully they can sit and make a cake too, especially with the lead up to Christmas. So this episode will be launched in December. So if you're listening, do follow Daniella Buttercream Lane on Instagram, which I'll tag, and also have a look at her website because I am so excited for this cooking therapy. And I'll be more than happy to promote it, Daniella, if it's available for people via the internet from Sydney. That would
Yes,
be
absolutely.
amazing for
Yeah.
many kids. I can
Thank
refer so
you.
many patients to you that would thrive. Your
Thank
example of
you.
cooking an egg with them in the mug with your niece and how she regulated herself, how she connected, how her behavior was no longer the issue. It was more her need to connect. All parents need to know that. How beautiful
Absolutely.
is that message? You don't
Well,
have to be next to your client, your kids, or
no,
your niece or nephew. You can be on the other side of the world and still create that moment.
you can. Well, and happy birthday,
Oh,
by the
thank
way. And
you.
I want to see this cake, so I hope you include it in this
Um, well, I've
in this
booked a cake
clip.
for the dinner.
I want to
Now,
see the one your daughter makes.
now the pressure's on, Daniela.
I
Those
do.
few Arabic swear words might come out during the process.
Just let them be. Let them just create what they want
Okay,
to create. Don't try and make it perfect. Let them just freestyle it.
I'm going to get them to make me a cake for Daniela's
Beautiful.
birthday episode, and I will
Yeah,
send you all the videos via WhatsApp.
I do. I want
Actually,
to
I'll make
see.
a reel for
And
everyone watching. They can see the moment.
perfect. I want to see that.
Okay.
And by the way, 40s are the best.
I've heard.
Oh,
I've heard.
I am.
I'm actually feeling because I remember my mum vividly going to Anthea Crawford in her 40s
Yes.
buying a gift and thinking, "Oh, geez, that's so old daggy."
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do Anthea Crawford. I'm still young. I'll do Rebecca Valance or
Yes.
Zimmerman for my birthday.
Yeah, no, 40s is awesome. I love
Okay.
my 40s. I want to look 40. I want to feel 40. I want to just be like I'm loving my 40s. They're the best yet.
What a model! What a great model to your son and for my daughters to show them you're not defined by your age. It's about how
Oh
you live
no.
with joy and purpose.
Well, enjoy.
Daniela, we should do a part two. When your cooking therapy's out and you've had some trials and you've had some, we could talk about it. Let's come back. Let's do another episode about the benefits
Done.
of cooking therapy so many families can benefit from it
I
too.
would love that. And thank you. I can't wait to keep following your journey, Rita. What you're doing is just such a
Thank you.
beautiful gift. Like, I know you
Thank
enjoy it,
you.
but you're just giving so much to so many. Speech therapy is so important. And I know
Thank
our
you.
kids have used it, and oh, it's just amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate your kind words. Thank you. And for everyone else, thank you for listening to Wine with Weeda. Maybe this is the last episode of the year. I'm not sure. Stay tuned. I don't know. Maybe for the year. But I will bring you more episodes to your ears soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Weeda. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.